Buying a condo with a pending lawsuit. Hey folks, my name is Chris at Hauseit. Today we're going to talk about this interesting topic for first-time buyers and buyers in general. If you're looking to buy in South Florida and New York, you're bound to encounter this question. Most condo buildings are over the years going to encounter some sort of lawsuit in certain areas and regions such as South Florida. And especially for newer construction condos, you will inevitably find these Chapter 558 lawsuits. These are very, very common to see in newer construction buildings. For example, where the condo board recently took over from the developer, one of the first things they'll often do in South Florida is, they will hire an inspector and then file this Chapter 558 a lawsuit against the developer for alleged construction defects. And this can happen whether there are serious construction defects or not. Not to make light of it, but it's very common to see. Sometimes there are obvious defects that any reasonable person might agree with, such as like a driveway that isn't properly designed, making it very difficult to park, and you might easily scratch your car. To much more minor things that perhaps slight like imperfections in the paint or something, which really shouldn't be something that should be sued over. So it really does vary, but these are again very common to see. A lot of condo boards almost view it as use it or lose it once they take over, because it's an opportunity to get money from the developer to put it into the condo's reserve balance and such. So it's an opportunity. People often do it. One great way, regardless of what the situation might be, just a basic diligence item you can do is to just Google or search in quotations, the exact legal name of the condo association. So for example, let's say hypothetically, Riverport Condominium Association Inc. And you search that, and then if there are any lawsuits, oftentimes there'll be, that name will come up. The condo association name will come up if they're involved in a lawsuit, because oftentimes these lawsuits will be indexed by a variety of third-party sites, and then you can see for yourself. And of course, make sure to ask the seller's agent, the building management company, when you're requesting the building docs. Oftentimes they'll be kind enough to provide you with not just the building docs, but also what information they have on the lawsuit itself. If you're lucky, sometimes the seller's broker or the managing agent might be able to provide you with the original inspection report that the lawsuit, the Chapter 558 lawsuit, is based off of. So you can read through it yourself, see what imperfections or defects are sort of being alleged, and you can, hopefully gauge for yourself on how serious these issues are. I mean, is this just an opportunity to get some money for the condo association, or is this something more dangerous and serious you need to reconsider? So these are all ways to do it. Another thing is when you're inspecting the condo unit, perhaps you're going back with a home inspector. You can also see if the building's chief engineer is available to perhaps meet you, because you're quite serious about buying the unit. Maybe you're already in contract and this is the inspection period in South Florida. Then perhaps it's a great way to meet the chief engineer, then ask him in person what he thinks. You can joke around and say, hey, like, is the building gonna fall apart, or what's going on here? And oftentimes you'll get a heart-to-heart response. It's just another perspective from the building's chief engineer, who should know the building best on how serious some of these alleged issues are. And of course, litigation in the building is a serious issue, most often because it prevents or makes financing considerably harder. So this is especially the case for certain national banks that are perhaps headquartered in New York. They're not familiar with different landscapes such as South Florida, where these type of lawsuits are perhaps quite commonplace. And then they'll just have like a red line where if there's financing or litigation in the building, they won't finance it. Sometimes smaller lenders might, so definitely look around, but that is one of the downsides of litigation. And there is good reason for that, because litigation can take many forms, and there could be all manner of lawsuits between residents in the building, between unit owners and a condo board suing each other for different things. And obviously that is not something you want. Even if financing was available, it might not be something you want to get involved in, because oftentimes these will result in special assessments to pay for legal fees over many, many years. And the last thing you want to do is to get into something where there are like increased special assessments every so often to raise funds to pay lawyers for this ongoing legal battle. I mean, perhaps that's the last thing you want to have to pay for on top of your regular monthly common charges. And really, there's no short answer or formula for what exactly constitutes something that's serious or not. You're gonna have to look through it yourself, find out more about it. Is it something that's minor, that's like a lawsuit between a unit owner and the condo board over renovations? They felt like they were mistreated or fined or something. Or is it something more serious? Because ultimately, the condo board is raising money from all the unit owners to pay for all these legal fees. So it's definitely something you want to watch out for. And lastly, we will also say that it's not necessarily always a bad thing that you're buying into a condo with ongoing litigation, because oftentimes this condo board might have been raising special assessments to pay for legal fees for years and years. And if they have a righteous cause and they have a good chance of winning, they may be on the cusp of winning a big settlement on their case. So if prices have been depressed as a result of this ongoing lawsuit in the building, perhaps you might be able to buy in at a reasonably good price and then have a windfall when the case is won and a big settlement is won for the building. You might not expect necessarily a cash payout, but oftentimes the building, they might use the money to build up the building's reserves, or perhaps reduce common charges. So there's potentially an upside from all of this. And of course, the values will increase once that litigation is resolved, because first of all, buyers will be more attracted, they'll feel more secure with no litigation in place, and plus you'll get financing again, which can only help raise values as more buyers are able to buy in the building. So there you go. We hope you found this video helpful. Please leave us a comment if you have any questions, any tips or thoughts yourself. And of course, if you're looking to buy or sell in New York or South Florida, we can help. We can help you save up to 2% or more when you buy with a Hauseit buyer closing credit, where our buyer's broker gives you 2/3 of the buyer agent commission, subject to us keeping a minimum of 1% or $7,500 as of this filming, whichever is greater. And if you're looking to sell, we can help you save 6% with an agent-assisted FSBO listing. My name is Chris at Hauseit, and we'll see you on the next one.